What's up, guys? Welcome back to FarmStrong. My name's Jack and thanks for joining me for another week on the channel. It's good to be back filming some weekly content for you. It's been a pretty steady January, as I explained in my farm update so far. It's been very wet. The rain has continued, but we're lucky today, Monday, we've got a pretty nice, still, dry day. So we've got some jobs to crack on with this week. So I'll take you along for the ride. And speaking of rides, first job of the day is just going to be to give a little winter service to our Husqvarna ride on mower. We'll do oil filters, change the oil, fuel filter, and any other little bits I might find. But first job of the day will just be to get it blown down and washed up so it's nice and easy to work on. Now it's all tidy, we can swing around to the workshop and see what's what. Very handily, Paul, who serviced this last, has written when he did it, and I now know from looking at the hour meter, we've done 270 hours. And rather than just being a bloke, I thought I'd have a look at the maintenance schedule in the book and see what it wants me to change. And it wants me to do the oil filter, air filter, fuel filter, spark plug, and obviously change the oil too. Just got to Ernest Doe's at Firefield, so we're popping and see if we can't get the bits. Made it back, all the bits in my hand here, so we'll crack on, dropping the oil and getting the bits changed. The air filter's nice and easy to get to on the top here, so we'll start with that. Not too bad, but not great to be fair, so definitely wants changing. Especially when you compare that to a new one. I think that should just be a push fit as long as there's room for it. One job done, I'm going to drop the oil out so that's got a chance to drain. The engine oil drain is this little yellow tap here, so rather than being a plug, it's got a little cap and a tap. So I've got to turn that anti-clockwise and hopefully we'll see some oil. Let's check this on the floor. The oil filter for the engine is around this side and it's got the fuel filter there also, but I'm hoping I can just get on that with a rag, which I can, and that will come off. We've got a tray underneath catching any oil. I've put the new oil filter on now and we've finished draining the oil, so I've done the plug back up. Just going to swap the fuel filter out now. It's just got a couple of little hose clips to loosen off, and hopefully we can pull the old one off fairly easily. Old one off, dripping a bit of fuel. New one back on, and we'll just move the little hose clamps. 1, 2. Should be all good. We've got 2 plugs to change on this engine, so we'll start by getting both those out. Pretty nice working on this actually, because it's pretty easy to get to everything, isn't the same for all stuff. It's nice having the engine in loads of free space rather than under a load of cowling or round guards and things like that. Don't actually look in too bad a condition. That one looks a little bit wet, to be fair, but gaps I'm sure are probably not too bad, but not going to bother checking them. We'll just drop new plugs in. Just tightening this last plug up now, and the last job we've got to do is top it back up with oil. Oh, and pump tyres up. We'll check the pressures. We're going to have a look for some oil now. I'm after some 1030 or 1040. And I think that's going to be our job there. We need 2 litres, so I'll get a small jug and pour some out. We'll go and get another jug filled up. I'm going to chuck another ½ litre in, and then we'll start having a look on the stick. Just make sure we're not over full. Yeah, we can still have a drop more. I'm calling it mission complete on the Husky now. I'm going to double check the oil level. I'm going to double check the oil level in the morning, so we'll ride her back to her resting place. Whilst I've been working on the mower, we've had quite a lot of growth regulator and some fungicide turn up. So I'm going to get that ferried round to our proper chemical store and get that tidied away. Dad jumped in the forklift before I could. I've grabbed an old foot bag so we can chuck some empties in. Just getting rid of the empties. The growth regs in. Dad's going to bring that fungicide round now. I think if you watched my previous videos, I've spoken a little bit about this, but we've had this container as our chem store for just under a year now. But yeah, our chem store before really wasn't that adequate, to be fair, pretty old school. So this has got a proper 900 litre bunded floor in it. You can see that angle plate. It's got a gap to the floor there, and then got this lip here. And then we've got electric. It's got heating for the cold months across the winter, keep the temperature stable or not too cold in here. And you can get them with this welded in racking, which is pretty handy for the smaller stuff and some granules and things. And while we're here, for the first time, our water tanks are nearly full. So when that red marker gets to the bottom, these 3 tanks will all be full. They're all joined up. So all this rain we've been having has been doing a good job. So that will be 60,000 litres of rainwater ready to go as soon as we want to spray. So we've got the water and we've got the chem store. The only thing we haven't got here is storage for all our empties, which we kind of didn't think about really when we're doing this. Well, truth be told, this was going to potentially be a whole covered area, but we bailed out on that idea just due to the vast cost of building a roof, just as a nice to have really. So yeah, we keep all the cans around in one of the other sheds, and it just means we have to lug them back and forth. We do leave them in here once we've used them to keep them dry, and then just have to have a clear out every now and again. You see all the cardboard and lids there. Bringing it right to the door. So you've just seen a clip of Dad hauling that baitment 2,500 litre tank out of there. So believe it or not, I've actually managed to hopefully sell that. There's a good guy that just rang me this morning all the way from Devon, who's just had a quote from Bateman to replace his tank and said it was eye-wateringly expensive. So he's had a look online, and I had this advertised on Farm Ads, thinking that, well, didn't think really anyone was ever going to buy it, but it's been up there for a year or so. But hey, he might be coming to get it. So I've just lifted some of the crap out of it. I'm going to send the guy some pictures now, and hopefully we have a sale. It is now a pretty fresh Tuesday morning, but nice and still. You can see a skip behind me. Had that dropped off yesterday afternoon. Going to try and do a load of junking and just get rid of a load of crap from the farm this morning. Just going to go and show you our old fertiliser spreader that is getting picked up this morning, because that's been sold. So this is our old Caverneland Exacta TL fert spreader. Ended up selling this on Farm Ads for spares and repairs, as it's got an issue with the weigh scales. But I think a chap's coming down from maybe Lancashire or something to come and grab this, as it was a bit of a bargain really. Sold it for not much more above scrap value, to be honest, but been up for a while and hadn't had any takers, so at least it's going to a new home. It's a bit of a bargain for someone who wants it, I'd have said, as it's pretty damn solid, no rust or whatever, but as I said, got an issue with the weigh scales, so not really that usable, and hence we put it in the shed and bought a new one. So yeah, hopefully a guy's going to come pick that up this morning in the next hour or so. It's Wednesday morning. Dad's already loading a lorry, load of wheat from our contract farm. Pretty wet day, so go and give him a hand, sweep up. It's always nice driving the big kit, but true farmers enjoy using a broom and a shovel just as much. I mean, that's basically just a big shovel, isn't it? Lights are on. It's pretty dark still, to be fair, this morning, probably about 7:20. If anyone's wondering why we flip the bucket like that, it's just to knock some of the wheat out of the bucket so that it's not falling on the floor when you're backing out and loading the lorry. So yeah, just to empty the bucket a little bit so it's level on the top. It is a fresh Friday morning now, just up in the man basket, just taking some of a couple of the hydraulic rams off the rogator as they've been leaking, and we're going to put some new seals in that. So I'll just show you what ones we're taking off. So it's just this ram here. pretty easy, just the 2 hoses and a couple of bolts. So yeah, just one of the rams that helps fold the boom. Whoa up! Just drop the pipes off, and now it's 2 30 mils. Happy days, 2 rams off, nice and easy. So those can go and get repacked or sealed. Dad just popping the sprayer away now. So I'm not sure what it is about this week, but people seem to want to be buying stuff off us. So as well as the whole fert spreader and the sprayer tank that have gone, just had a call from a chap this morning who's keen to take this old Wingate concrete mixer off us. So I didn't want very much money for it at all. I just want to get rid of it really, and it's not easy to transport or particularly get down the scrapyard. So there's a chap on the Norfolk-Suffolk border that seemed keen, so I think he's going to come and try and pick this up from us next week sometime. So gets another thing out of our yard that's been sat doing nothing for 20 years, so that pleases me. I'm assuming it's got some life in it, to be fair. It's PTO driven, so I reckon she'd go all right. And then it's just got some hydraulics that sort of work the hopper there, but I reckon she'd run. But she's a little bit rusted out in a couple of places. But yeah, good luck to the bloke that's going to get her going. Just jump into the workshop to chat as it's pretty freezing outside, and for some reason decided to shave my beard off, so my chin is pretty cold. But yeah, it's been a bit of a hectic week, been jumping around a bit this week, and you'll probably gather that from the clips you've seen. Been grabbing a few clips of what we've been doing in the mornings, and then not been managing to get the phone out for the rest of the day. But a bit going on at the farm today. Just done some work on the sprayer, as you've seen. I've got a chap coming to pick up the Bateman sprayer tank that we sold, and then crack on with a few other jobs in and around the yard. Today we did have, so Wednesday afternoon we had our local buying group that we're members of called Samco. It was the AGM, so yeah, nice lunch out. Good to see some other local farmers, and interestingly Ollie Harrison was our guest speaker, or the guest speaker at the event. So it was really interesting getting to listen to him explain about his journey, everything he does in farming, talking about all his YouTube, and obviously a lot of the work he's been doing campaigning in farming with the IHT and other things. So yeah, it was very interesting listening to him. He's a real switched on bloke. It seems that he jumps at lots of opportunities and follows them through, whether that's his charity work, diversifying his farm, or getting involved in politics. So yeah, fair play to him. He obviously comes across well on YouTube, but came across very well in person as well. So seems like a very nice bloke. And I think a lot of us in the farming community do have some sort of debt to pay to him in terms of the work he has done campaigning on IHT. So yeah, it was great to get to listen to him. Yesterday I had a breakfast meeting with our agronomy group. So we were listening to a chat from Origin, I think they call themselves Origin Soil Nutrition now, but basically a fertiliser company. So listening all about fertiliser, some of their products, and quite interestingly, he was explaining quite a lot around what affects the price of fertiliser basically, and effectively, yeah, fertiliser is not controlled by a farming market, it is controlled by geopolitics, and it was good, or interesting to hear about all the geopolitics, the wars, etc., Ukraine, Iran, Russia, how all these things affect supply and demand and affect price. And then, yeah, picked up a few little tips, perhaps some food for thought about what fertiliser we're using on the farm. Should we be trying something different? So it's always good to come away from a meeting with some stuff to think about, seeing if there's something we can apply to our farming business. So yes, it's been a good week, be a few more jobs. I've done a bit of tidying up in the workshop already this week, which I'll show you very quickly. But yeah, constant battle of trying to get things tidy in here always continues. Something that's been annoying me for a very long time in this workshop is all the stock metal that we've had sprawled over this area of the workshop for many, many moons. So as long as I can remember, it's all just been sprawled here. So just had a good crack at tidying it up, getting all the big stuff on the rack and against the wall there, and then any shorter stock I've just put in this bin, sort of pallet bin that I made up. And then the bandsaw's had a clean and tidy up as well. So yeah, just one more thing off the list that gets this place looking a bit neater and makes a bit more room for working on things like this. It is 4 o'clock, time to go home. I've carried on with recent form of not having my phone out filming what I've been doing for most of the day, but been nipping around doing a few bits and bobs. You'll notice behind me, this is where the Bateman tank was. A couple of nice chaps came up all the way from Devon to buy that. Story behind that was that yes, they had a Bateman sprayer, needed a new tank. It was going to be eye-wateringly expensive. So they had a look online and found ours, which was the only tank in the country being sold. So lucky for them, we had that. Interestingly, they're not very far at all from the Bateman factory. I think we're only 6 or 7 miles away. So they borrowed a sort of a metal welded up sort of crate that we could drop it into and get away. Unfortunately, I couldn't get I was going to get a little video of them pulling off to show you that, but I was on the phone when they went. But a couple of really nice chaps. It's nice to chat to them for a while. Interestingly, they were saying down their way, it hasn't stopped raining since New Year's Day. So they have had continuous rain in 2026. So we think it's wet here in Essex, but as we know in other parts of the country, well, some are underwater. So we can't moan too hard. But there we are, end of a busy week. Glad to be back doing weekly content for you guys. Should be back again next week with some more. Yeah, great stuff. Have a good weekend. Take it easy. See you soon.